Welcome to Unstuck with Charlie. My name is Charlie Arms. Now, I had to get on here and offer my thoughts on the Super Bowl halftime show. I wanted to talk a little bit about the larger discussion around entertainment and entertainers. Should we even care? Should we listen? Should we be worried about this? Okay, so I'm going to start this off by saying I did not watch the Turning Point USA Alternative halftime show. They referred to it as the All-American halftime show. Didn't watch it, not that I didn't care, I just didn't get a chance. My wife and I were at our daughter's place, and we simply watched the football game and rolled right into the halftime show, led by none other than Bad Bunny. Now, I'm from the 80s, so I thought of Bugs Bunny, but anyway, never heard a song by Bad Bunny in my life, and until this Super Bowl season, I didn't have any idea who he was. I'm really hip and modern, aren't I? Now, I sound like my parents or your grandparents. Anyway, you get the point. Since I couldn't understand much of the music during the halftime show because it was nearly all in Spanish, I had to evaluate based on production value and storytelling. And on those points, I thought the show was probably better than most halftime shows I've seen. It's clear that a lot of coordination and creativity was put into this, more than most halftime shows I've witnessed, okay? Those are the only positive things I would offer about this halftime show. Now, as a Christian, I want to talk about this. As a Christian, now I have to point out the dancers were absolutely vulgar. They were writhing upon one another. There were gay dancers as well as straight, so there was that. Now, there's really nothing new about over-sexualized performances during halftime show, right? There's always been some sort of vulgarity, but it was after the fact, over the next few days, that I was able to read the lyrics of Bad Bunny's presentation. And wow, that was another level of vulgarity. With this information, I can say that this was one of the most vulgar halftime shows ever. How any Christian could support this artist and this presentation would cause me to question whether they were followers of Christ at all. On this point, I think the people trashing the show are legitimate. They are on point. But let me say this. The point I disagree about with what people are saying as they trash the halftime show is the animosity about it not being focused enough on the USA. Now, Bad Bunny made it an international show. Now, I don't have a problem with this. The Super Bowl is watched all over the world. The USA has a lot of people from all over the world. Latin America, for instance, is a huge supporter of the NFL and has proven that they provide a significant viewership of the NFL in general. So really no big deal for me on that point. Frankly, the people who are up in arms on this point, they actually do really sound a little racist at worst and exclusionary at best. I don't think it's a good look for America or Christians in general to make this particular point. Now, I understand why you want it to be all USA all the time. I love the USA too, but keep in mind, every other Super Bowl in history has pretty much been all American, right? I mean, I see no problem with reaching out across cultural barriers. Now, I don't think this should happen every year, but once in a while, no big deal. Everybody just needs to chill over that, right? My only issue with this halftime show, and it's a big one, is the disgusting vulgarity. If you don't believe me, do your research. Look up the words. It's terrible. This should be a family show, one that everybody can enjoy together. Now, I know it was mostly in Spanish, so a lot of English-speaking kids, they didn't hear a thing, and but what about the Spanish-speaking kids? Do we not care? Do we think they're not listening? Now, I want to expand upon this to a bigger thought. There was an alternative halftime show led by Kid Rock and other artists, and it was billed as All American. Now, I already stated that I didn't watch that one. I have seen clips and I have the gist of what it was about. I don't have any problem with people looking for an alternative. I've turned off halftime shows before because I didn't like the artists or I felt it was going to be inappropriate. Remember the whole famous wardrobe malfunction with Janet Jackson? Remember that? Anyway, it's a free country and anyone who wants an alternative should be able to explore it, especially given how vulgar this Super Bowl halftime show was. It's probably a good thing that there was an alternative. Now, much has been made of Kid Rock and his past and whether or not he's a good representation of family or American values. I mean, that's a fair point. The same can be said for other artists that are in the news right now. Jelly Roll, Nicki Minaj, and even actor Russell Brand all have come out publicly and declared themselves as followers of Jesus Christ. As Christians, we should be pumped about this, that people with such prominent platforms in our culture are knowingly and purposely declaring for Jesus Christ. What's not to be excited about, right? But I see two reactions. Number one, putting too much stock in these people. Or number two, those who are trying to tear down these people. Now, what should I do as a Christian? Here's my advice. The Apostle Paul in 1 Corinthians 11:1 said this, "Follow my example as I follow the example of Jesus." We don't follow anyone but Jesus Christ. As a pastor, I don't ask people to follow me. I ask people to follow Christ. Now, when people are celebrities, they are famous, but they are fallible, like the rest of us. They aren't always, trained in scripture or leadership. And sometimes these people who are not trained, they're put in situations where they're not equipped to provide sound answers or to offer what people are looking for, right? Now, if they, like you, come to faith later in life, they've also got a past, right? And just like you, other people may remind them of their past to try to shame them or silence them, right? We shouldn't allow that. As Christians, we need to extend grace and also be reminded that the journey of discipleship isn't quick and simple, but it takes time to grow and develop. We can rejoice that these entertainers are standing for Jesus and pray for them to be strengthened. In the meantime, I want to remind us all not to follow presidents or people, but to follow Jesus. Only follow others as they follow Jesus. Anyway, I hope this gives you some fuel for thought and reflect well on this cultural conversation. So I hope you have a great day and let's move forward.